I'm DEBOE.
Who?
DEBOE.
You got my 40, homie. Why you tripping, DEBOE?
Come on, DEBOE. Start him out.
Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, pimps and players, everybody between, it's your boy, on DEBOE Vibes right here. Thanks so much for coming by another episode of DEBOE Vibes Sports Dive. Well, on the live tip, on a very, very chilly night down here in Atlanta, Georgia. Temperature dipping down into the low 30s. Low 30s, wind chill out there like in the teens almost, or in 20s. But nonetheless, though, it's time to talk some football, some Falcons football. Before I continue, let's go ahead and look in the chat right quick. And I see Meeting Eye. What's going on with you? Now, if y'all know Meeting Eye, go to Meeting Eye YouTube channel. Before I continue, let me tell you about them. They do a lot of things in the community, particularly with the African-American businesses. Is that right? But also, they also have what is called the Meeting Eye Awards. So what the Meeting Eye Awards is, they put together a collection of some of the best content creators out there. And I actually have an award named after myself, the DEBOE Vibes Award. So hopefully I can make my face in a place down there. You know what I'm saying? Wallace Smith, what's going on with your boy? Doing good, doing great. Tripping with Dre and Michelle. Tripping Dre, my boy, man. The only football that matters tonight is Notre Dame football. Right now, Notre Dame is getting in Indiana Hoosiers ass right now. Last time I checked, it was like 17-3, I believe. Is that right, Dre? But hey, college football playoffs in full effect tonight. College football playoffs, and they got 3 games tomorrow, man. So college football playoffs, we'll see what happens. But at any rate, I just want to say thank y'all for coming by. Like I said, there's a meeting now right there. We got Wallace right there. You know what I'm talking about. We got Trevor, Dre, Michelle right there. Oh, he says 20-3. All right, but who's counting? Cousin was a bum. Should have went with PENIX. We will get into that right now. We about to get into that, y'all, for real. Because if y'all don't know, if you've been hiding under a rock, Kirk Cousins been benched. And he had to be benched. Reason being, for the past 5 games, we'll get into it in a little bit, but I'm gonna break something down for y'all. For the past 5 games, DEBOE, you got to pull up to the awards. Oh, I'll make my way out there. I'll make my way out to the west side. You already know. For the past 5 games, Kirk Cousins, well, for one, we were 1-4, right? He had 1 touchdown. One touchdown and 9 interceptions. So it should go without saying that something had to change, and something had to change real quick. So enter Michael PENIX Jr. And it was something that had to be done because, to be quite honest with you, the organization was losing the fan base, including myself. They had a little thing talking about they were going to outrun the South. You cannot outrun the South with a putrid offense like the Atlanta Falcons were pulling out. So we're going to get to that in 1 second. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we're going to get into it right now. I ain't going to hold y'all long because I'm hungry, to be honest with you. I might later on, if they're still open. It's either going to be American Deli or Touchdown Wings. Now I want to say one is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. All them weapons, exactly. Falcons are cursed. Go Buccaneers. Here's the thing about that, Weez. The Buccaneers could very easily win the division if we don't win out, which is crazy because the Atlanta Falcons swept the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But yeah, we still might lose the division. And if that happens, I put all the blame. Well, I can't put all the blame on. I put a majority of the blame on the general manager, Terry Fontenot. But it is what it is, you know. So what we got right here? Touchdown Weez never missed. Butter garlic hit different. Ooh, boy, Weez, what you talking about? But see, the thing about it is, though, man, the American Deli wings. With American Deli, the lemon pepper, all flat, extra wet, pause, and that Philly combo, you can't go wrong with that right there. And that's just in my opinion, you know what I'm talking about. So what we're going to talk about real quick, y'all, like I said, thank y'all for coming by. I definitely appreciate it. We're going to dive into if y'all don't know, the New York Giants coming in town. All right, they're coming to the Benz to play at Falcons for Michael PENIX Jr. first ever start. And the Giants, in a word, is putrid. The New York Giants are a horrible team, an awful team. So let's go ahead and talk about their offense a little bit, and as our defense, who had a great game last week. The defense did, offense didn't. That's what I'm saying. Had a great game last week. We're going to dive in just a little bit with the Atlanta defense versus the Giants offense, and then we're going to Riverside it. We're going to talk about Michael Penix Jr. and our offense versus the Giants defense. And then I'm going to let y'all go because, like I said, I'm hungry, y'all. You know what I mean? So we're going to get to it right now, and we're going to go ahead and talk about the issue at hand, which is going to be first the offense of the Giants versus the defense of the Falcons. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let's go! All right, so let's dive into the Giants offense right quick. The Giants offense, y'all, they're actually going to start their fourth quarterback of the year. Of course, they started out with Daniel Jones, and then they went on to Drew Lock, and then they went on to Tommy DeVito. Now they are on to the fourth quarterback, who is Tim Boyles. Who's Tim Boyles, DEBOE? Let me tell you who Tim Boyles is. Before I do that, Wallace Smith let's see what Wallace Smith talking about. Yeah, the Raiders game was the last straw for Kirk. Yes, sir. You ain't lying, Wallace. And he couldn't get out of his funk, and he forced the organization to make a change. To my understanding, everything I've been seeing, Wallace, you probably been seeing too, that change came from the top. And when I say it came from the top, I think it came from either Mr. Blank or it came from Terry Fontenot. More than likely, it had to come from Terry Fontenot, in my opinion, because Terry Fontenot screwed over $100 million of Mr. Blank's money. Here's the deal with that. It's not a good look for a general manager, not just to screw over that much money, but we now have the most expensive backup quarterback of all time for that year. This man, we gave Kirk Cousins, I'm talking about, Wallace. Well, you know, $100 million. And this man now is backing up. And then we turn around and then we actually, you know, get Penix, which thank God we got him. But the thing about that is, we just signed this man, Kirk Cousins, to a contract that's unbelievable. And now you turn around and spend a first rounder on Michael Penix Jr. So the dynamics ain't good. It's not a good look as a talent evaluator who Terry Fontenot should be as a general manager. Meet not almost $300 million wasted. Imagine paying $280 million and then got to go with a backup role. Welcome to the A. Hopefully that narrative can be switched up. Weez, I ain't gonna lie to you, man, because you're not lying. You're not lying. But Kirk Cousins is what he has done. He started off, you know, marginal, but then he got into a rhythm. You would think the only games that he really got into a rhythm with was against your Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. Those are 3 games right there. All right. Now with the other one that we had, the Carolina Panthers, that's more run based. We ran the ball, ran down throw, ran for 200 yards that game. So when you look at that, the other games, Kirk Cousins was marginal, and he was literally deteriorating in front of the Falcon fans' eyes and the organization's eyes. So with that being said, absolutely, yeah, they had to get out of that, man. Let's see here. Yes, I agree. I think so too. That came from top. Yeah, like I talked about. I think that was all Mr. Blank right there, man. The Giants right now, I got the rankings right here. Let me tell you what I'm talking about right here. The Giants rankings. Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle is going to be a starting quarterback. Who? Tim Boyle has been in the league for 7 years. On those 7 years, he's thrown for a little over 1,200 yards. Here's the main thing that raises an eyebrow, though. In his career, Tim Boyles has 5 touchdowns and 13 interceptions with a QBR of 55. That is it. Bijan London, and you throw 1 touchdown, bang them up. Bijan and London, and you throw 1 touchdown. Not just that, bro. We're not talking about just Bijan Robinson, who, by the way, is far beyond our MVP for the offense. Might be the MVP. Well, he is the MVP of the team. Drake London, Darnell Mooney. Now, I will give Terry Fontenot credit. That was a great sign with Darnell Mooney, Raymond McLeod, and Kyle Pitts, which Kyle Pitts at this point has been pedestrian at best. But hopefully with Michael Penix, we can get him into the groove. Yeah, and Pitts, exactly. So he had all those weapons and only threw 1 touchdown in 5 games. And that 1 touchdown, mind you, came the last game. And in that last game, that first touchdown was early in the game. After that, it went, you know, like, hey, went down the tank. So we got the Giants coming in. The Giants, to be quite honest with y'all, as y'all know, is almost the same identical situation as it was last week with the situation last week with the Raiders. So what's going on? Yeah, boy, DZ. I don't think he was a bum. He was lighting up for a minute, but he just drastically fell off, man. I hate it for him, but it is what it is. Hey, bro, your boy DZ, I agree. I agree with you, man, because when Kirk came in, you know, particularly like the 3rd and 4th games, he started getting into a rhythm. And then, of course, week 5 is when he threw for 501 yards against the Buccaneers. And then, you know, the season started like feeling him, the whole swag surfing. And then, you know, this is our trap. You know what I'm saying? We take our trap, we get the trap, all that and the other. And this dude just fell off. And DZ, they asked him, like, what happened? They even asked Coach Raheem Morris, and they both said things. He was like, I don't know. And Kirk Cousins was like, look, I know how to play, but it just wasn't happening. And what I was looking at as the games were going, as the game went on, he was just like, his body was just break. He couldn't throw the pass. As the game went on, particularly in 3rd and 4th quarter, he could not step into his passes. His progressions were all messed up. And of course, like I said in my last video, he's throwing a wide open linebackers. That 4 interception game that he had against the Chargers, that one pass he threw into the end zone, into almost quadruple coverage, unacceptable. So we're looking at somebody who knows what he's doing mentally, has all the acumen in the world, but he couldn't make things happen. So that's why we had to make the steps that we had to make. So, you know, it is what it is. Me not. How you swag surf into a slump? That's the question, bro. That's the question. How you swag surf into a slump? And the thing about that is that when you think about it, they had the Denver game. After the Denver game, they had the bye week. Perfect opportunity to get off that slump, to get off to do his thing. Very next game, Chargers, right? And that's when he threw the 4 interceptions. So we got to look and see what exactly happened. But the good news is this. And to be honest with you, let me see what y'all think. I never thought that Raheem Morris was going to bench Kirk Cousins because press conference, all he said was, hey, Kirk's my guy. We're going, hey, Kirk guy's here, we guys here. Well, Kirk my guy's here, but to be honest with you, a 6-3 record ain't the best in the world. He was talking like he got some undefeated record. No, he didn't. 6-3, right? So he got to a 6-3 record, and then we lost the next 4 games. And then last week, we saw what happened. Your boy DZ. Yeah, man, my boy went from taking traps to better not show your face in the hood. Man, let me tell y'all something, man. Everybody wanted Kirk Cousins to go to their hood, man. From Bankhead to Buckhead to Edgewood to Glenwood. Everybody wanted Kirk Cousins in the hood because he was that dude. He was doing his thing. Past 4 weeks, he better not show his face on the west side. He better not show his face nowhere around the east side, nowhere around Glenwood, nowhere around Decatur, nowhere around College Park, nowhere. Kirk better just stay where he is, up those plush estates that all the Falcons live in, up in Gwinnett. Gosh, nobody wanted Kirk Cousins, nothing to do with Kirk Cousins over these past 5 games. Steve, Uncle Steve. Oh, my bad, Steve. My bad. Steve in the bill. Uncle Steve. Yes, sir. Uncle Steve's lounge in place. Thank you so much for coming by. Steve, what's going on, my brother? Smash that like button everywhere and subscribe to DEBOE Vibes. I like that. Hey, y'all, if y'all don't know, man, Uncle Steve's Lounge, man, he's one of the pillars in the Atlanta Falcons content creator community, man. So whenever you can, go ahead to Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube and get his reactions on everything, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Wallace Smith, but they didn't expect for Kirk to just fall off the cliff like he has in the last 5 games, and he's scared to move. Yeah, man, he's scared to move in the pocket, and I think that's a mental thing with him. A lot of things that Kirk Cousins was doing, I think, was mental, and it was getting to his head. He was unable to step into his throws, and when he did, he kept double clutching. Whenever you double clutch, you give a defense opportunity to reestablish themselves in a position to make a move. And he kept doing that. Those double clutches he kept doing. Wallace, he kept double clutches, double pumping, and then does the interceptions. So hopefully, let's keep it a buck, y'all. It's a wrap for Kirk. It's a wrap for Kirk Cousins, y'all. Now, what we need to do is see if we can get back some of that dead cap money, because it's going to be dead cap next year if he stays on the team. So hopefully there's a way that we can actually trade him. Teams do need quarterbacks, believe it, like Kirk Cousins. Now, let's not front. Kirk Cousins, he's a serviceable quarterback. He just had a screwed up, really crazy ass streak. You know what I'm talking about? By the way, y'all, I'm smoking a Maduro cigar. If y'all wonder what type of cigar I'm smoking, it's a Maduro cigar, by the way. Maduro leaf, nice pack cigar. Go and get you one. Anyway, back to the review. So we got a Giants team coming in, and right now they're in the same situation as the Raiders are in. They're primed up for the #1 pick at the draft. They have a 2-13 record. They've only won 2 games the whole year, just like the Raiders did just like the Raiders have only won 2 games. So this is a great opportunity for our defense to rise up. As we saw last week, all the things that defense was doing, particularly in the first 3 quarters, as Jimmy Lake, and shout out Jimmy Lake, y'all. I'm guilty of criticizing the hell out of Jimmy Lake. This man has done things with his defense, particularly up front, that I thought could never be done. Coming out of the bye week, we only had like 10 sacks for the entire year. It was a well-spoken narrative all over the YouTube community as far as the Atlanta Falcons content creators are concerned. Over the past 3 games, they've had more than 3 sacks in each game. I think over the past 4 games, they had more than 3 sacks. So the upfront, as far as Jay Rogers' defensive line and the linebackers are concerned, they're peeling their ears back and getting to it. Now, why do I say all that? I say all that because right now, the Giants' offense ranks almost dead last in passing. Almost dead last in passing. They're only passing for 185 yards a game. We had this Tim Doyle guy coming in. And last week, I think he was like 50%. He came in for DeVito. DeVito got injured, I believe. So we got this guy, a career journeyman, who, in a word, sucks. If we can do the same exact thing as y'all saw last week, I think we had the best defensive performance up front I've seen in a long time. And the reason being is because Jimmy Lake decided to switch up the scheme. Usually Jimmy Lake is going that, base 3-man nickel with a soft zone. He wasn't doing that last week. For those of y'all who watched the game, the defense was flying all over the place, particularly first series when D. Offer got that fumble. Shout out to D. Offer for bouncing back. He had a couple of TFLs last week, and as we saw, D. Offer got turned around like a Twizzler when Justin Jefferson did that thing to him. I've never in my life seen a cornerback get twisted like D. Offer did. And I chimed in on Your Falcon Mind with John and Mike. And I said this. When I saw that D. Alfred play, y'all got, if those of y'all don't know. But y'all do know because we're all Falcon fans here. That D. Alfred play, when Justin Jefferson did what he did, I legit thought 1 or 2 things happened. I thought someone in the stands shot him, or I thought he was going through some kind of crazy-ass medical emergency. That D. Offer play was crazy. He bounced back, though, last week. He bounced back. He had a real good game last week, that forced fumble in the first quarter. But the defense, I believe in the second quarter or the third quarter, I forgot what it was, where they had them pinned up, the Raiders pinned up in their own end zone, and we got the safety. Let's talk about Kentavious Street. Kentavious Street for 2 plays looked like Aaron Donald. Kentavious Street had the best 2 plays I've ever seen him have, back to back. So with all that being said, if we can generate that particular pass rush and that particular pressure to this Tim Boyle, we can make it work itself out. Now, as far as the run is concerned, the Giants right now have a putrid run game. Tracy, their lead running back, who was a former wide receiver, he's questionable coming into the game. So it's going to be a lot of running plays for Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary, he's the former Buffalo Bill and a former Houston Texan. But let's not sleep on him though, because he's a serviceable back. But with that being said, last week, what the line was doing to stop the run, because last week the Raiders only had 65 yards, and 28 of those came from Desmond Ridder. So they stopped the run. And so if we can get the same play we got last week from a Ruka Row, right? From Kentavious Street, right? From Grady. If we can get that same penetration and reestablish that line of scrimmage, the sky's the limit. Now, as far as the wide receiver is concerned for the Giants, they do have a putrid offense. However, we have to discuss real quickly the likes of one Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is a rookie. He's a surprise rookie. Right now, he has 90 catches for 901 yards and 4 touchdowns. He had his 4th touchdown last week, but he did go 8 straight games without a touchdown because of the crazy quarterback play. The great thing about Neighbors in his own right is that he's a magnificent route runner, and his drop rate right now, is only 6.8. So that means he only drops 6.8% of the passes that he catches. Now, you would think it's kind of bad because, you range around 7-8%. However, nobody in the NFL has more targets than Malik Neighbors other than Garrett Wilson. He ranks number 2. So we already going to know that Doyle or whoever the quarterback is going to be, it might be DeVito, I don't know, is going to target Malik Neighbors. So that's going to be a prime position for A.J. Terrell to D him up and do his thing. Hopefully it'll press man coverage. We don't need any kind of zone coverage on Malik Neighbors. A lot of his routes sometimes are intermediate, particularly on the sideline. He does a lot of toe tapping. So particularly on the sideline, he gets the job done. So with all that I said about the defense, let me know what y'all think about that right there. We have the recipe. If we do the exact same thing that we did against the Raiders, there's going to be a very, very long day for that Giants offense, especially if we do what Jimmy Lake initially did for the first 3 quarters by doing a lot of press man, being very aggressive. Last week we had 10 tackles for losses, guys. 10 TFLs, yo. That's what I'm talking about. Man. I'm hungry as hell, yo. I ain't gonna lie. My stomach over here growling, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna do it's gonna be American Deli, touchdown wings, or cookout. There's a cookout right down the street, so I might do that, man. Anyway, so Jimmy Lake and Jay Rogers, etc., and Jerry Gray come up with the same game plan, the same scheme, the same aggression, that we did last week. Then I think it's gonna come out very good for our defense. The offense sucks. The New York Giants have only scored more than 22, or have only scored the high for the year is only 22 points, excuse me. That's a high. Over the past couple of weeks, they haven't scored more than 20 points. So it's the same identical situation as the Raiders are concerned. So with all that said, I think we're on our way to a great defensive performance. And with that said, let's see what our offense is going to do. All right, y'all ready to see what the offense is going to do? We got to talk about Michael Penix Jr. Let's go! All right, so Michael Penix Jr., the toast of the town. He is going to be doing his first career start. Now, one thing I'll say about Michael Penix Jr. that benefits him and works out perfectly for him is that this Giants defense ranks almost dead last in defense. Matter of fact, I got the stats right here, y'all. The total defense right now for the Giants, they do rank 7th in the pass. They have a good passing defense. But total defense, they rank 31st in the league. And they rank 31st in the league against the run. So, what I believe is this. Michael Penix Jr. over the past 17 weeks or so, he's been, of course, in the same quarterback room with Kirk Cousins, digesting everything that Kirk Cousins has told him. However, the thing about it is this. Michael Penix Jr. for the past you know what I'm saying, 18 weeks, he's been throwing to the likes of Casey Washington, Chris Blair, and Josh Ali. So now you're at a point where you're throwing to the main guys in the room, which is, of course, Darnell Mooney, it's Drake, and it's also Ray. So we definitely got to keep an eye on that right there of how he's going to make that adjustment. And the receivers had to make that adjustment too. Wallace says, yes, we need the defense to play like they did in the first 3 quarters, but they need to step up. They need to step up with just 3 with rushing. That's what I'm talking about. Just rushing 3 players in the 4th quarter. Playing that previous defense stuff, that gets you beat. And I echo that sentiment. I was almost losing my damn mind in the 4th quarter when Jimmy Lake decided to just stop what he was doing. He can't help himself. He cannot help himself. Jimmy Lake can't help himself. For the first 3 quarters of that Raiders game, for the first 3 quarters, smash out defense. I mean, they were laying licks on those Raiders. You see that hit A.J. Terrell did on the sideline inside the red zone? A.J. Terrell, everybody. And in the fourth quarter, for reasons I don't know, you don't know, no one knows, he stopped. Jimmy Lake decided to stop doing it. Jimmy Lake, he literally, the whole game plan that's been working, the 10 tackles for losses, the safety, all of that. And let's not talk about before I continue, y'all. Shout out to the special teams, man. 2 block punts. It was a complete game. Other than the offense, of course. 4th quarter, Jimmy Lake gets away from it. Jimmy Lake, 3 down linemen, base nickel, soft zone. He went right back to it. Desmond Ridder almost beat us by him doing that. He almost beat us. Y'all can say what y'all want. Desmond Ridder, if the Raiders really wanted to or had to, they could have beat us. The Raiders should have beat us, but unfortunately they didn't. So this defense, like I touched on, we'll talk about offense in a second, but the defense, if they continue to do the same thing they did over the past couple of games, and shout out to Arnold Ebiketie. Arnold Ebiketie, y'all. This man woke up. He playing like someone shot. He playing like someone said something crazy about his mama. Arnold Ebiketie is being a sack machine. Damone Harris. Let's talk about Damone Harris. Practice squad guy. He's coming up. Pinning his ears back. Getting to the quarterback. The interior line. Look at row. You know, hopefully we can send a little more doorless. All that. So if we can get these guys, like you said, Wallace, and just like this do their thing. But it's not up to them, though. It's up to Jimmy Lake. Jimmy Lake, hopefully, he'll be able to maintain the same aggression he did on the first 3 quarters. But like I said, he can't help it. He can't help it. Yeah, DZ, I'm talking about DZ. Balone also had 2 sacks that game. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, by the way, where'd that come from? That the Malone with the 2 sacks. But I'm glad he did. D'Angelo Malone, he was all over the damn place. So, hopefully, like I said, hopefully, we can go ahead and keep doing that. But like you said, DZ, you know, D'Angelo Malone, Damone Harris, Kentavious Street, where the hell that come from? Where the hell that been? Where has this been at? So hopefully we can keep doing that. Back to PENIX. The great thing about PENIX is that he's had opportunity to be in a quarterback room and learn. But like I touched on, in practice, he's been throwing to the likes of just Casey Washington, Chris Blair, and Josh Ali. All right. Now he's actually has a capability of stepping up to the plate and throwing to our number 1, number 2, number 3 receiver. And I think and let me ask y'all a question right quick. Do y'all think that Zach Harrison is going to peel back the playbook, or do you think he's going to let MPX, Michael Penix Jr. do his thing with the entire playbook? I think that, and a lot of people, I want to come to Zach Harrison's defense right quick. Because a lot of people was like, well, Zach Robinson, excuse me. I always get those Zachs confused. Zach Robinson, oh, he's not a good play caller. He's doing this, and oh, why can't he do that? Y'all got to realize, Zach Robinson was doing what he could with a broke down quarterback. Now he has a fresh quarterback, a mobile quarterback. a quarterback who's able to execute the plays that he wants. So I think that Zach Robinson, he'll set up a particular amount of plays for Michael Penix Jr. to orchestrate on the field. I don't think he's going to throw the full playbook at him. I think there's some plays designed to get Penix comfortable, definitely get him comfortable, and then at that point, he'll unleash. Wallace says right here, I think Zach is going to open it up to playbook more and let Penix do his thing. So the only thing about that, Wallace, I'm afraid of, is that this will be the first live action this man has, relative live action, that he's seen since that Miami Dolphins preseason game. Now, of course, we did see Penix play a little bit against the Seahawks, and of course, he played a little bit against the Broncos, where he threw that beautiful pass to Casey Washington, which Casey could have caught. Unfortunately, Washington got injured that play too. Now he's in live action. Now he's getting live bullets at him. The good news is this, though: the main players for them, Dexter Lawrence ain't playing. I'm talking about the Giants. Dexter Lawrence ain't playing. Okay, so because he's on IR. And I think Kayvon Thibodeau. What the hell happened to him? Kayvon Thibodeau got drafted in the first round out in Oregon, and they thought he was going to be the next Lawrence Taylor. This man ain't done nothing. Brian Burns is questionable. Okay, so those are three elements right there that should make things easier for Michael Penix Jr. Now, as far as the run game is concerned, like I said, the Giants ranked dead last in run. Well, I think they're 31st. The 32nd team is the Carolina Panthers. So you're looking at a run defense that's first susceptible to, for us to get the run game going. Last week, Bijan Robinson was cutting the Raiders up. So this is why I'm happy about what's about to happen on Sunday against the Giants. Against the Giants, we had the opportunity finally, pretty much for the first time all year, to have a potent play action. The play actions with Kirk Cousins, it couldn't be done because the whole team knows that Kirk can't run. So now we have the ability to actually do some things with Michael Penix Jr. Now, one thing I'm concerned about is that I think Burns is going to play. Oh, he's going to play? Okay. All right, Wallace Smith said I think Burns is going to play. So, like I touched on, it's totally different than being, to do walkthroughs in practice and then being in a live game, and you got the likes of Brian Burns screaming screaming down your back about to get you. Also, Michael Penix Jr. is left-handed. He's a left-handed quarterback. So a lot of people don't really think about that, but apparently, there's a different spin to the ball. And in the 35 years I've been watching football, the main big deal that came is when Joe Montana retired, or he got moved on to the Chiefs, and Steve Young started playing. Joe Montana's right-handed, Steve Young was left-handed. So Jerry Rice said that he had to actually spend extra time practicing with Steve Young because he's left-handed. Michael Penix Jr. is a lefty. So you got to wonder what that, caused any kind of not any kind of difficulties, but would that cause any kind of mistakes or anything as far as like the receivers adjusting to that spin of the ball. Michael Penix Jr. is going to do some great things this game, I believe he's going to do. Now, of course, he's a rookie, though, so there might be some mistakes associated with that. But when you look at when I think about Michael Penix Jr., I think about him sitting back on the sideline, looking at the game, and looking at what Kirk Cousins was doing and what he was not doing. But he did learn a lot from Kirk Cousins. One main thing Kirk Cousins taught him was how, check your progressions and even get to your third, fourth, or even your fifth read. Now, Michael Penix Jr. has been, sitting down, just thinking about all that. If he can actually get on the field and make it happen against this defense. Now, like I said, the passing defense, they're ranked number 7th in the NFL. The run defense, however, is nothing. So your boy Deezy said, let's see here. I think Drew Lock is starting for New York. Okay. If that's the case, okay. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, Deezy, man. I've been all day. I've been watching the news up in New York, and watching some of the outlets up there trying to figure out if it's going to be Tim Boyle or Drew Lock. They kept on saying it's going to be Tim Boyle. They didn't know it was going to be Drew Lock or not, because he came out of the game out of last week's game against the Ravens. But if it's Drew Lock, okay. Now that might concern me a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was concerned. I was about maybe 20% concerned about Tim Boyle. Now I'm 30% concerned about Drew Lock, if you know what I mean. I'm not that concerned about Drew Lock because of the previous things that we talked about, how the pass rush is getting better. Drew Lock, of course, a little bit more mobile, but if it is Drew Lock, okay. But like I said, Tim Boyle, Drew Lock, both of them are below average quarterbacks right there. But it could determine how Jimmy Lake schemes this game right here. But again, going back to that Giants offense, they've had 4 quarterbacks this year. They've had 4 quarterbacks in 4 quarterbacks in 16 games. You got teams out there who haven't had 4 quarterbacks in 16 years. So with all that being said right there, I think, it's going to be a good thing for us right there. Now, what about Kyle Pitts? Let's talk about Kyle Pitts, y'all. Now, before I continue, y'all, let me know what y'all think. How many yards y'all think, Mike? How y'all think Michael Penix is going to do? You think he's going to throw for 3 touchdowns? Think he's going to throw for 1, run for 2? You think he's going to throw a couple of picks, just 1 touchdown? How y'all think Michael Penix Jr. is going to do? Me personally, I think he's going to have. I think the ceiling for him. I think the floor is going to be just 1 touchdown. I think the ceiling is going to be 3 touchdowns for him. 1 running, of course. I think he's going to run 1 in. Michael Penix Jr. He's not a runner. He's a pocket passer, but the dude can run. He can run. He just opts not to run. But if an opportunity comes and that man's going to run, he's going to run the ball pretty good. We have not had that all year. Feel what I'm saying, y'all? We have not had a running quarterback all year. Well, we haven't had a running quarterback since Mike Vick. So you look at this dynamic that this man's going to bring to the table, and it opens a playbook up. And I think, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to agree with you, Walls. I think we'll open the playbook up for Zach Harrison. I keep saying Zach Harrison. Zach Robinson. Because Zach Robinson's going to have a lot more. A new shiny toy, a new shiny car. And when he gets out there, he'll have some plays down though for Michael Penix Jr. Will Michael Penix Jr. be able to execute them? That's all I'm saying. So I think Michael Penix is going to have a good game. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, I think, has gotten a bad. I think Penix will have three. Wallace Smith says, I think Penix will have 3 passing touchdowns. I can see that. I can definitely see that. I'm excited to see what Kyle Pitts does with this man under the center. We saw with Kyle Pitts the ability that he had the first game against the Steelers. We saw what he did against the Buccaneers down Tampa Bay, minus that, fumble / touchdown he had on National Tight End Day. So I think Kyle Pitts, but to be honest with you, Kyle Pitts will have a little more of a something to do with the offense. As we saw last week against the Raiders, it wasn't nothing about Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, it was all about, it's all about Warner out there. He was the one catching passes with Kyle Pitts on the sideline. That's going to change. So you look at the dynamic. Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Ray, Kyle Pitts, Bijan, Algier. Come on. That's all I'm saying right there. So we came into the season. We came, into the game last week. And I said to myself, even if we did make the playoffs, who the hell wants to see this team in the playoffs? I'm actually serious. As Falcons fans, if we went to, as of last week, before last week's game, and even after last week's game, who would want to see this team in the playoffs? Because we're gonna get their ass kicked with Kirk Cousins under center. Now it's not the case. The defense has stepped up. Evan Katie stepped up. Damone Harris out of nowhere stepped up. Last week, D'Angelo Malone stepped up. So the front 7 for our defenses, they're definitely doing their thing. Now we have an offense to complement that. Special teams, perfect. Last week, by the way, I think it's also a wrap for Young Wei Koo. He's on IR right now, and I think it might be a wrap for him as well. So We'll see with that. But tell me what y'all think. Now, before I let y'all go, I just got one more thing to get off my chest. But before that, here's a quick commercial break for you.
We have a return. He kicked it 100 miles. Long spiral to the 21-yard line to Dion to the 30. Dion out to the 35. Dancing 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35. Dion 20, 15, 10, 5. Dion Sanders.
Giants at the Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, coming on Sunday. Guys, listen, let me look at the chat right quick. Let's see what we got right here. Wallace, once again, I think they need to have more plays for Pitts, and it's not his fault. If they're not getting him involved more, in which I think will change with PENIX at quarterback now. I echo that sentiment. I definitely think that I think that Pitts will be a little more involved. Definitely in passing game. He's looked uninterested over the past couple of games. Well, more than the past couple of games. He's looked uninterested. But now I think that'll change. Now, reference to the running game last week, shout out to Bijan Robinson for pass pro. This man is becoming a complete running back. The blitz pickups he's been doing this year and the pass protection he's been doing, other than a couple of times. Amazing. Shout out to Tyler Algier. Last week, he was running like a man possessed, running people over. So, again, the Michael Penix effect. So, let me ask y'all a question before I let y'all go. And thank y'all so much for coming by. Right now, we got 17 in the building. Thank you so much for coming by. I know it's late, but, hey, we got to talk about the Falcons and Michael Penix Jr., all that good stuff. So, please share this out right here. Subscribe, comment, like, all that stuff. So, let me ask you a question. Would you be happy bringing back a player next year who's only played 7 games in 2 years? Not only that, this player, for some reason, I'm not saying gets a pass, but they kind of, not coddle this player, but for some reason he gets that pass. Like, again, if I told you we're bringing back a player who's only played 7 games in 2 years, but the sky's the limit. There's something about him. He has talent out of this world. What would you say? Before I let y'all go, let's go ahead and talk about the one, Troy Anderson. Troy Anderson right now, he's on IR. His season is over with, y'all. His season is totally over. His first year, he played, every game last year. And yeah, so Troy, exactly. Troy Anderson. You already know. It's easy to read my mind, bro. Say it again. Troy Anderson. Played his rookie year. Last year, played 2 games. This year, played 5 games before he got injured. Now, I can understand that. I think, the Falcons as an organization could have handled his injury situation better by putting him on the IR sooner instead of just telling us, oh, he's fine. Did y'all notice that? Y'all saw that? Y'all notice that? How each week there was, oh, Troy Anderson, he's fine. He'll be fine. And then the game time comes, they're like, he's not playing. That happened week after week after week. Are y'all comfortable with him coming back next year and securing that starting role? That's my question to y'all as Falcons fans. I need to know your opinion, because of this, I was already had an upper eyebrow towards Troy Anderson even before the year started, and here we are. The man had a great game. Had the game of his life against the Saints. 17 tackles, had that pick 6 all day, but then he disappeared. Is it time for us just to let this whole Troy Anderson thing, the Troy Anderson experiment, just let it go? I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they look at his quote-unquote potential and look at all the things he did in college, playing running back, playing linebacker, playing quarterback, 4.3 speed, all that. Well, as we know, the best ability is availability, right? And he has not been available for us at all. And everybody's talking about, oh, he has so much talent and everything he did in college, is that other. D'Angelo Malone had a lot of talent in college. And he's had his ups and downs. Great special teams player, and we saw last week, like your boy DZ said, he had 2 sacks. So I want to know what is about Troy Anderson that we're so infatuated with. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Why we're so infatuated with Troy Anderson? The man's not available. And for any NFL historian, about a month ago, I reached out to somebody and on his platform, and I left a message, and I said that Troy Anderson to me reminds me of Mike Malula, whatever his name was. For those of y'all know who he is, back in 1995, the Philadelphia Eagles drafted linebacker Mike Malula out of Boston College. He was a combine freak, did everything. They thought he was going to be the next great linebacker in the NFL. The man amounted to nothing. A couple years after that, a couple of years into the league, he was out of the league. So, as an organization, Terry Fontenot, are we willing to bring him back and give him the opportunity to be that starting linebacker? Or should we consider other considerations? I'm asking y'all. Because at this point, we're just right now hoping that he does the great things that he can do, hoping that he can potentially do the great things that he can do based on what he did in college. That's what I'm thinking. Has he shown great plays in the pros? Yes, he has. He's shown flashes, but anybody can show flashes. There was a wide receiver by the name of John Ross. Y'all remember John Ross? Cincinnati Bengals drafted him about 10 years ago out of the University of Washington. Why they drafted him? Because he ran a sub 4.2. And they thought he was going to be a deep threat in everything. And he was a journeyman before he's finally out of the league. So just something to think about. Because am I throwing shade? I'm throwing shade because I'm disappointed. Can y'all imagine how this defense, especially last week, can y'all imagine how this defense will look with Troy Anderson out there doing his thing? Wallace, what you got to say? I think Troy has been injury prone. And if they resign Landman, they should move on from him and draft. No. And if they resign, they're not going to resign Landman. Bro, okay, let's stop right there. Hey, great point, Wallace. It's a wrap for Landman. I believe. We've seen Landman out there, and he's trying. God bless the dude. God bless him. He is trying. But I can't see them re-sign Landman. But we are talking about the Falcons again. He has no gas out there. None whatsoever. The stuff that Nate Landman was doing last year, oh yeah, he did his thing last year. However, what is he doing now? Let me look at your point one more time, Wallace. I'm sorry. I think Troy has become injury prone, and if they resign Landman, they should move on from him and draft or bring in another vet at the middle linebacker spot. Yeah, I believe so as well. Because right now, the jury's still out for J.D. Bertrand because he just came back with a concussion. Did y'all see J.D. Bertrand with the Guardian cap? Did y'all see J.D. Bertrand with the Guardian cap last week? Shout out J.D. Bertrand with that big old Guardian cap. You know what that Guardian cap looks like, y'all? I'm getting off point. That Guardian cap looks like that Martian used to be on the Flintstones. Y'all remember that? That's what the Guardian cap looks like. But shout out to J.D. Bertrand for wearing that Guardian cap, y'all. But hey, we'll see what happens, man. We had I forgot the players' names, man. But in the preseason, we had a couple of Mike linebackers, man, and in preseason who showed out. And I forgot their names. That they got brought down. They didn't make the team. They got brought down to practice squad. But we had some guys who can actually do some things in the middle spot. But going back to what I said, and I agree, Troy Anderson is injury prone. So how much longer do we got to put up with it? The best ability is availability, y'all. And if the man's down on the field, all the things he did in Montana State World it's all for naught. It's all for naught. What y'all think? Let me know what y'all think. Okay, y'all. So with that being said, y'all, Giants at the Benz to play the Falcons. Michael Penix Jr. first game. I think, like Wallace said, I think 3 touchdowns. I think I can see that because if you look at how we performed last week, the offense I'm talking about, against the Raiders, with Kirk Cousins, you're going to bring up how you think Michael Penix Jr. would have did last week against the Raiders, because he's basically playing the same team this week. But we need some middle linebacker that can cover. Yes, I believe that as well. And Nate Lamont cannot cover. Nate Lamont definitely can't cover. So J.D. Bertrand, he's had his moments as well. You know, so, but we do. My sentiments exactly. But I love seeing, I do love seeing Kaden Ellis sometimes. By the way, before I go on that point, speaking of coverage, what we don't need is Jihad. What's going on, man? Jihad, how you doing, man? Long time no hear from my homie. How you doing? What we don't need is seeing Judon covering a running back out of wheel route like he did last week. They had Judon covering Sincere McCormick on a wheel route, and it looked awful. So that's what we don't need. We don't need Judon, trying to cover anybody out, out of the backfield. We just need Judon rushing the passer and get those little touch sacks he be getting. Judon gets those touch sacks where the quarterback falls down, and Judon just happens to be in the area and touches him and gets a sack. So that's what we need right there. So I was going to try to go to the Giants game, but I got other things going on. 'Tis the season and Christmas is quick whooping my ass, so I got some things to do. But whoever's going to the Giants game, y'all, show up and show out. Be loud and proud. And I think this will be the most rocking the Benz that's been, I think probably since the Steelers game, since the first game of the season. It's a brand new season, y'all. This is PENIX time. It's PENIX season. It's a brand new season, in my opinion. So I'm very excited to see what they can do. But let's not get twisted. If we can get the defense, especially up front, to keep doing what they've been doing, tighten some things. If Coach Hood can tighten some things up in the secondary, which I think he did last week, the way they were flying around, you bring that into the core, a Michael Penix-led offense, which will be more dynamic, more fast, and something that the other defenses are going to have, the other defenses are going to have quite a time with. These defenses have not had any problem at all with our offense over the past 5 weeks, at all. It was almost like the defenses were in the huddle. They knew what was going on with Kirk Cousins in there. That ain't got to be the case no more. That hasn't been the case no more, y'all. Y'all, like I said, I'm about to head on out. It'll probably be a Cookout. I think Cookout. Yeah, they open right now, so I might do Cookout, man. So yeah. Anyway, y'all, we got 19, we got 20 in going right now. I want to say thank y'all so much, and let me know what y'all think. And after the Giants game, once the Giants game ends, please show love to all the content creators out there, man. We got the Atlanta Falcon fan base has some amazing content creators, and just see what they got to say as a nation, as a Falcon nation. See what we got to say. See what we think of. We got to win these next 3 games. If we have any hope of winning the division, we had to win these next 3 games. I can't see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers stumbling at all. If y'all saw what they did or what they've been doing, particularly last week against the Chargers, then y'all know what I'm talking about. So Wallace, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, kind sir. Great show. And hey, I'm always good. I'm always good as my viewers. So y'all did a great job as well. So thank y'all for coming by. Hope y'all have a good evening. And like I said, we're going to touch base again after the Giants and the Falcons play to see how bad we beat them boys down. We got to do it. We got to outrun the South, like Raheem said. And that's a wrap right there. So we will vibe out soon. All right? All right. Your boy hungry, man. I'm about to go, get some cookout right quick. Get back to my cigar and enjoy this chilly night in the ATL. Y'all stay warm out there, man. Hey, anybody down here in Atlanta? Y'all stay warm, man. And be safe, all that good stuff. And as always, y'all, respect, love, peace. Hey, peace out from the South Side. I'm out, y'all. Take care. Much love. You already know.
DEBOE.